January 31st, 2025, Medellin, Colombia. A federal witness enters a restaurant just before noon. He is unarmed. He is not in hiding. He believes his location is secure. 30 seconds later, a gunman exits the building. Staff do not move. Chairs are displaced. The witness does not leave. When police arrive, the scene does not resemble a robbery or a dispute. It resembles an execution. Investigators later confirm the victim's photograph had been circulating online for days, uploaded to a Canadian website recognized nationally, the Dirty News. Not coincidence, coordination, not a local dispute, a cross-border message. One question appears in every early report. How did the killers know his exact location? And who confirmed when he sat down? Miss the button? Subscribe now so you don't forget later. September 14, 1981, Thunder Bay, Ontario. Ryan James Wedding is born. His grandparents operate Mount Baldy ski area, east of Thunder Bay. He is raised in a structured environment. Early mornings, long hours, repetition. By age 12, he competes in snowboarding. By 15, he enters Canada's junior national program. Coaches note his technical ability and tolerance for risk. Investigators reviewing this period later ask, how does someone learn to make high-stakes decisions without hesitation at that age? February 14th to 23rd, 2002, Salt Lake City, Utah. Wedding competes in the men's parallel giant slalom at the 2002 Winter Olympics. He finishes 24th out of 32. His Olympic career ends. The structure around him, coaching, competition cycles, external oversight, disappears. What replaces it? Between 2003 and 2005, there is no competition record. Former teammates describe a change. He becomes harder to track, harder to read. Federal investigators later mark this period as the first unexplained gap in his timeline. Why does an Olympic-level athlete exit competition without a visible next step? 2006, British Columbia. Police raid a commercial property containing 6,800 marijuana plants. Wedding is not charged. His name surfaces in connection to individuals involved. The detail appears once, then disappears. Reporters miss it. Law enforcement does not. 2006 to 2007. He moves between British Columbia and the United States, enrolls in school, drops out, attempts business ventures in Vancouver. None succeed. He begins crossing borders frequently. No clear pattern emerges. Investigators identify this as the first behavioral shift. He begins operating without fixed residence, fixed employment, or fixed identity. And people who knew him during this period say the same thing. He stayed calm when others did not. 2008, San Diego, California. Wedding is arrested transporting 24 kilograms of cocaine. Federal records place him inside a cross-border trafficking pipeline, larger than any Canadian authority had previously linked to him. He pleads guilty, serves time, is released. Investigators note what happens next. He does not stop. He expands. The question becomes direct. How does a 24th-place Olympian appear in federal drug intelligence within 5 years of competition? And who guided him during the years no one was watching? After 2008, the timeline accelerates. By 2015, he is tied to what authorities will later call one of the most violent trafficking networks in North America. 2008, San Diego, California. U.S. federal agents arrest Ryan Wedding with 24 kilograms of cocaine. No specific day is documented publicly. This is the first official record of his involvement in high-volume trafficking. He pleads guilty, serves time, is released the same year. Analysts reviewing his post-release activity identify a shift. He becomes more structured, more careful, more deliberate. Why does a first-time offender return to Canada operating like someone who completed training? Late 2008, early 2009, Wedding resurfaces in Western Canada, not in competition records, not in public databases. In investigative notes, border crossings, financial traces, contact with individuals already flagged by law enforcement. No charges filed, but signals accumulate. 2009 to 2013, The expansion window. Over 4 years, weddings activity appears intermittently. Encrypted messages recovered from unrelated raids. Unexplained international travel. Gaps in residential records. Contact with individuals tied to drug distribution networks. No single event triggers charges, but operational discipline increases year over year. How does someone scale a network while leaving almost no trace? 2015. Project Harrington, British Columbia. A multi-agency investigation targets a violent Canadian cocaine network linked to murders, extortion, and cross-border importation. Digital forensics reveal weddings, alias, and encrypted communications, primarily Signal, Threema, and Telegram. These accounts appear months apart. Each one coincides with a violent event or product movement. During this period, DOJ summaries and press reports begin linking wedding to Mexican traffickers, including intermediaries connected to the Sinaloa cartel. Not confirmed partnerships. Geographic and logistical overlaps investigators cannot dismiss. Why does a former Olympian appear in communications with individuals operating above local trafficking levels? 2016 to 2019, identity fragmentation. Over 4 years, Wedding stops using his real name. He cycles through aliases: El Jefe, Giant, Public Enemy, Jesse King, each tied to separate communication channels or transaction records. Digital forensic analysis confirms the aliases did not overlap by accident. Each one served a distinct function: supply, distribution, negotiation, coordination. During this period, investigators identify the first use of his token system, a coded method for tracking product and payments without names, messages, or traditional ledgers. It appears in seized communications starting in 2016. It becomes more complex by 2018. By 2019, it is fully operational. This is where the shift becomes clear. Wedding no longer operates like someone evading law enforcement. He operates like someone building infrastructure designed to survive arrests, seizures, and informants. 2020 to 2022, the acceleration phase. Over 3 years, a contradiction emerges. More individuals report working under his direction. Almost none report physical contact. Encrypted accounts multiply. Distribution cells expand. Supply chains deepen. His visibility decreases. His influence increases. Investigators call this pattern structural anonymity. Every agency reviewing his file asks the same question. If this is when investigators noticed him, how much had already been built before they did? By 2023, investigators understand the structure. Wedding is not running a crew. He is running a network, each segment designed to function if the others collapse. At the top, Wedding, coordinating remotely through encrypted devices. Below him, Christopher Clark, the enforcement arm. His presence coincides with nearly every violent incident in the case file. Below them, Los Angeles stash houses holding bulk shipments. Brampton distributors moving product across Ontario and into the U.S. Canadian couriers managing pickups. Colombian lab contacts handling processing and packaging. Each layer operates on limited information. The structure is designed to survive arrests, but as compartmentalization increases, so does violence. November 20th, 2023, Ontario. A team arrives at the wrong address. 3 people with no connection to the drug trade are shot. Forensic teams recover shell casings, no fingerprints, no fibers. 2 masked individuals, clean exit, either a catastrophic intelligence failure or a sign the network is destabilizing. In the months that follow, task forces observe encrypted traffic appearing, vanishing, and reappearing across provinces. Clark's accounts activate around violent incidents, then go silent. Someone coordinates timing, someone else executes. April 1st, 2024, Niagara Falls. A trafficking-linked individual is killed in a parking lot. Single shooter, close range, no hesitation. Cell tower records place a wedding associate in the area minutes before the shooting. Not close enough to fire, but close enough to confirm the target. Inside the network, behavior shifts. Some distributors stop answering communications. Some begin running unauthorized deals. Some believe the network has been compromised. Wedding responds by using sicarios. Contract killers operating in Mexico and Colombia. Short-term, anonymous, disposable. Why adopt a method that increases instability? Did he sense law enforcement closing in, or believe outsourcing violence would keep him insulated? Logistics become more layered. Crypto wallets route through mixers. Burner phones activate for single calls. Messages disappear seconds after reading. Human trust is replaced by digital isolation. Investigators tracking the pattern identify the same trajectory. Violence increases. Communication compresses. Paranoia spreads. The question embedded in every early report now becomes direct. If this level of conflict was visible on the surface, what was happening below it? Still watching? Ask yourself, who was directing the violence from a distance? For months, investigators suspected a leak inside Wedding's organization. Suspicion became certainty when a photograph appeared online. A man under federal protection, sitting in public, unaware he had been located, photographed and uploaded to the Dirty News, a Canadian site known for exposing scandals and street-level information. No caption, no context, a location, a timestamp, a signal. Someone knew where the witness was. Someone wanted others to know. After Wedding's 2024 indictment, analysts noted communications referencing a bounty, not public, but distributed through intermediaries. Cash in some channels, cocaine in others, a necklace of significant value mentioned in seized messages. Not rumor, incentive structure. The kind that activates when someone wants a guaranteed result. The question, who confirmed the witness's location? Why did the information appear on a website seen by millions? January 31st, 2025, Medellin, Colombia. Late morning, a federal witness enters a restaurant. He orders. He waits. He believes he is secure. Seconds before noon, a man enters. No delay, no hesitation. Staff do not move. When it ends, the shooter exits the way he entered. Police arrive to a scene that does not resemble disorder. It resembles scheduling. Within hours, investigators begin connecting points. Online images, timing, location. The photos circulated days earlier. Encrypted device activity tied to individuals under investigation in Canada. Then comes what investigators did not anticipate. Associates linked to Wedding begin posting online. Photos, captions, emojis, not confessions, signals, the kind sent when someone wants others to know a task is complete. This is where the case shifts. Prosecutors escalate charges. The Department of Justice begins linking Wedding directly, not to distribution, not to logistics, to orchestration of the killing. An act that exposes the network more than any raid, seizure, or intercepted communication. Killing a federal witness is not enforcement. It is not discipline. It is declaration. A declaration that forces a question. If the network moved this cleanly, this openly, this confidently, how many decisions were made before anyone understood what they were watching? If this was the moment the organization exposed itself, what else had it concealed? The Medellin killing does not just alarm investigators. It resets the case. Within hours, multiple agencies coordinate: FBI, RCMP, DEA, HSI, LAPD, Interpol, all searching for the same answer. If Wedding could reach a witness overseas, what else had he already constructed? The first breakthroughs come from unexpected sources. Confidential informants, individuals formerly inside the distribution chain, begin describing the token system. A coded ledger, no names, no locations, no explicit instructions, symbols, quantities, balance updates. Investigators recognize they are not examining a drug crew. They're examining digital infrastructure built to survive arrests. The deeper agencies look, the larger the operation appears. Then comes a raid that changes the investigation's scale. A Miami mansion occupied by Juan David Bonilla, an associate tied to logistics and communications. Agents enter, devices seized, documents recovered. Law enforcement obtained something it never had: a partial map of Wedding's financial structure, crypto wallets, foreign exchanges, routing paths, mixers, cold storage. Enough data to freeze $126 million in digital assets. one of the largest cryptocurrency seizures in a case of this type. Even with the financial system exposed, wedding remains ahead. By early 2025, indictments accumulate. More than 35 individuals charged across jurisdictions, couriers, distributors, intermediaries. A pattern emerges. Every indictment aligns with one of wedding's aliases from earlier years. Every alias connects to a communication cluster. Every cluster connects to a single coordinator. This leads to a moment investigators had debated for months. March 6, 2025, Washington, D.C. The FBI places Ryan James Wedding on the 10 most wanted fugitives list, a designation reserved for individuals considered a direct threat to public safety, and a signal that federal authorities believe he is protected, mobile, and still capable of coordination. Then comes the figure reported worldwide, a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest, one of the highest rewards ever issued for a Canadian fugitive. Even with global exposure, analysts warn capture may not be straightforward. Multiple reports, CI statements, surveillance data, foreign briefings indicate the same conclusion. Wedding is believed to be under protection in Mexico, shielded by individuals with resources to relocate him, conceal him, and insulate him from detection. The question becomes larger than his crimes, larger than the indictments, larger than the murders linked to the network. The question is structural. If he built an operation that spans multiple countries, survives arrests, adapts to seizures, withstands informants, and still directs violence remotely, how do you dismantle something designed to outlast the person who built it? If the system is still functioning, even partially, where does the investigation begin? For investigators, the most disturbing element of this case is not the violence. It is the people who enabled it. A lawyer, educated, licensed, professionally trusted, allegedly advising a murder to prevent Wedding's extradition. Court filings reference the conversation. The implication is direct. The network was not built on traffickers alone. It had professional insulation, individuals offering solutions measured in lives. Then comes the betrayal, still referenced in task force briefings. A woman close to Wedding provides information that leads to a friend's death. Not for protection, not for survival, but for money to pay for cosmetic surgery. Investigators describe it as the clearest window into the network's internal value system. Loyalty is not currency in this structure. It is packaging, discarded when a better offer arrives. Inside the organization, fractures widen, disputes over revenue, disputes over territory. Encrypted messages show partners questioning each other, distributors hiding product, intermediaries falsifying numbers. The same paranoia that sustained the network now erodes it. But the actual danger, what investigators emphasize repeatedly, is not the trail, it is efficiency. Based on press reports and agency summaries, Wedding's operation is believed capable of moving up to 60 metric tons of cocaine annually through supply lines spanning Canada, the United States, Mexico, and Colombia. A structure built to survive arrests, a structure that adapted to seizures, a structure that continued functioning after its architect disappeared. This is what concerns the agencies still searching for him. He did not build a crew. He built a system, one that reroutes, replaces, regenerates, a system where violence was not the core function. Efficiency was. The final question is not criminal, it is structural. When a network survives the person who created it, was he the threat? Or is he evidence of how organized modern trafficking has become, somewhere across a border, protected by individuals with resources to move him and shield him? Ryan James Wedding remains a fugitive, still exerting influence, still operating within a system he built to function. Without him, if a structure like this can survive seizures, informants, indictments, cryptocurrency freezes, and international pressure, what does that indicate about the next one already under construction? If you made it this far, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell. More cases like this are coming, cases where the truth is darker than any fiction.